Hey everybody, I'm Axel, the Wonder Shredding Witch. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you're all having a wonderful week so far. This week we are talking about plot coupons. Though last week we talked about plot devices, this week we're talking about a specific plot device where they use MacGuffins on repeat and which are my favorite and why. As always, I would love to chat with you guys in the comments below, and if you could please do all the other things too. Please, the algorithm gods, like, subscribe, ring that bell. I would vastly appreciate it. Otherwise, on to the coupons. Coming in at number 5, we have the Dragon Balls. When you gather all 7, you summon one of the many Shenrons, and they will grant you a wish between 1 and 3, and they are pretty limited on their rules. Like, you have so much room to wish for whatever you want, including but not limited to the resurrection of everyone that was killed by every Tom, Dick, and Harry the last season. So, it's pretty low on the consequence scale. You're not going to get monkey spot or anything, but it is great for that spectacle. Coming in at number 4 are the Infinity Stones. Now, we all know about the Infinity Stones. We've seen the Avengers movies. We've seen that they're now paperweights in Loki. I really wish we got more time spent with these, pun intended, because one of the only stones we did get time with was the Time Stone. But that's the way the cookie crumbles, and they're still really interesting. If you go further into the comics, you can explore more storylines with the stones individually. So, and also Thanos' original goal of trying to impress Lady Death and get with Lady Death, that would have been a lot more interesting than trying to make him an understandable villain. I really think so. It's just pretty savage. When in the comics he's infinitely more savage and just kind of like batshit crazy, and I think I like that in the villains, so I got off topic here. But the Infinity Stones, they're neat. Coming in at number 3 are the Millennium items from Yu-Gi-Oh!, at least the original Yu-Gi-Oh! Where we actually had Yu-Gi. They had Millennium items that imbued people with the spirit of somebody from ancient Egypt, and it was just really, really neat. They also had vague powers based on what Millennium item it was. There were 7 of them. Pegasus had the eye, which let him see what other people were seeing. Yugi had the puzzle, which gave him the Pharaoh spirit and some vague mind-shattering powers. It was very vague and very situational. And then there was the ring, the necklace, the rod, the scale. There was something else. I can't remember the last one. But they were neat. I appreciated them greatly, and there's always 7 of something. Coming in at number 2 are the Chaos Emeralds. Now, you collect all 7, and then that's when Sonic can turn into a Super Saiyan, or anybody else who gathers the Chaos Emeralds. You can tell me I'm wrong, but that's essentially what they do, is they turn into a Super Saiyan. And it's a neat game mechanic. A lot of the times it requires you to have rings, and however many rings you have is how long you can stay as Super Sonic. So it's a neat little game mechanic, and then it works differently in a couple other games. I think in like Sonic Heroes you have to do mini games to gather the Chaos Emeralds, and then you get either a bonus level or you get to turn super at the boss fight at the end of the game. It's been a minute, but it's a neat game mechanic and I really appreciate it. Okay, coming in at number 1, last but not least, are the Shengang Wu from Shaolin Showdown. I loved these relics. I loved that they fought for them and did little competitions for them. I loved that they essentially would bet an extra Shengang Wu for whatever they were going after to kind of make it fair, quote unquote. I know the enemy would cheat, but the good guys would try and keep it fair, and I liked that kind of system they had to acquire these relics. It was a good time. The relics were really neat. You had things like the Orb of Tsunami that would create tsunamis and tidal waves at people. You had like the Sword of the Storms, which would create tornadoes. Eye of Dashi would shoot lightning. Jet Butsu would be like jet boots, and they had a whole bunch of stuff, and then they had like other unique things like the yin yang yo-yo, which I think would split you in two. They had a lot of random relics, and they did neat shit is what I'm saying, and it was a great time. All of these plot coupons are really just spectacle on repeat, so we can get epic adventures and epic battle scenes and keep that high octane environment. It doesn't always work because that repetition can get exhausting and tired, and it can just not be enjoyable. Sometimes, though, they do mix it in well enough with other plot points and subplots to make it interesting. So these are my favorite plot coupons. Are they all super strong? No. In fact, most of them are pretty weak when it comes to like writing standards today. However, I still appreciate them. They still hold a place in my heart, and I would love to hear what you guys love about plot coupons and which ones are your favorite in the comments below. Until next week, spread all the love and joy you can. Bye.